October 20th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Phoenix and Maya get to stand together, but why doesn't Edgelord get a little buddy, huh? Why doesn't he have a friend? Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Ready and so lonely. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. Edgeworth and D. Vasquez are just gonna have, like, a competition to see who can be more, that essence of voice. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Says the lady who's constantly talking about the clouds, the wind. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder.
Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay.
Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. Witness testimony the day of the murder. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with the monkey's head toppling over. Van added to the court record. I see. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it.
The day of the murder. So we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued. Why? Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? We just went over this. Take me to the studio van. Oh, right. 15-minute meeting. T-bone steaks. I mean, they had to go get the steaks first. Or someone brought them to them. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else. One person is enough. No, it's not! If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proved she didn't eat that steak.
Well, Nick, find anything?
I kind of wish she'd said a little more.
It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said. Somewhere.
I feel like her voice is getting progressively higher. Do I have evidence that she didn't eat the steak? Looking for evidence to see if about the steak. Steak! Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not.
What's this now, Mr. Wright?
Look at this.
It's a plate?
This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you, it was a T-bone steak. Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manoa ate at the table outside the trailer. Crunch! Yeah, they ate the bones! And there was a little green thing on the other plate, and there's just absolutely nothing on these plates. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? Maybe they just stuck the bones in the incinerator. I think I know how. You ate the bone too! You ate a boneless steak. I mean, we're trying to prove they didn't eat the steaks, so, you know. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. Okay, but what's to say they didn't just eat the steak and then stick the bone in the incinerator?
I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break?
Murdering the victim. Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Oh. They were having a secret meeting. Her and Hammer, that's why Hammer needed the costume. To get past the camera? Or to get past the, this old bag.
Order. Are you saying?
Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands.
Mr. Wright. Oh, isn't that a little presumptuous?
What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez.
Good luck, Nick. You're gonna need it. You're the dumbest person I know.
Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? Since it was broken, you could have undone the tape, you know? It's not impossible. Well, maybe it's not impossible, but... Silence. I'm speaking. The victim was stabbed through the chest from the front, yes? I believe this would indicate that the victim was aware of the killer's presence. Now, the steel samurai costume is quite light and mobile. Compared to the victim, I am weaker and slower. I couldn't possibly win such a fight. Not to mention, there is proof I did not have the spear. The photograph of the steel samurai shows that the victim himself was holding it. If you grabbed onto the tip, it was only held on by tape. Or do you mean to suggest that I could have wrestled it away from him?
Yeah, take that right. If you still think she did it, show us proof.
Hey, Nick! Look at the data
Sorry.
Look at the data we have on that samurai spear in the court record. Isn't there something in there that gets to you?
Something odd about the samurai spear. It was broken! This spear is broken! That's, do you like my Gordon Ramsay? I did my very best.
Something the matter, Mr. Wright?
These stakes are boneless! Sorry, Your Honor. I was just trying to do my best Gordon Ramsay over here on the defense's side of the court, but I'd like to take back my previous claim. No. What?
Very well, I won't hold you to your claim, but I'm afraid I will have to penalize you.
No! Could I not have...
What's this? You're taking back your claim?
Let's backtrack for a moment. I want to consider whether the witness could have used the samurai spear or not. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What?
What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. It was broken. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. I mean, would you still risk stabbing yourself with a duct-taped spear? It's still very pointy.
But that is the murder weapon.
Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Oh, the costume was technically like armor and so. Okay, fine.
Order.
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're...
Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Have you just fired Edgeworth? I almost called him Edgelord. Not that I haven't before. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. Was it the fence? How was Hammer killed? Because, I think I mentioned before, it's the same shape. The pointy point.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer?
Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I mean, knowing you, Phoenix, yeah.
I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then.
Did they recreate this, perhaps? Look at this photo.
What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of those stairs. Order! I bring my little hammer. If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is all this about?
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios.
What does this have to do with the current case?
Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest?
What are you saying?
Yes. What happened 5 years ago happened again today! Oh, has happened again!
Mr. Wright, continue!
This is the first time you've ever been supportive of us! It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Misty Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say.
In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago.
Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Ho-ho, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Mr. Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? Yes, not in a pool of blood. And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The van?
The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
I'm nervous. Oh, I don't think she... That's a stretch, honestly. 15 minutes is kind of a short amount of time. You see, even I cannot do the impossible, therefore, Mr. Wright... Oh, she could have had her team do it, though. I didn't do it. Agreed? Not agreed. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance... Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Ugh. Interesting. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body.
The van, right? Miss Vasquez. You carried the body to Studio 1. And you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There's a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. Used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume.
Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator?
Yeah, because, he does anything that she tells him to. Of course Salmonella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. I mean, she also has her squad. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the steel samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue?
No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. Humph. I lose, you win. It was fun. I win? Whoa. Well, so what happens next? Don't me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost something like that? I just said that. But wait, so you mean D. Vasquez, so it was you. You killed Jack Hammer. Dot dot dot. Lots of dot dot dots. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged of a battle of wits, and the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What?
Order. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but, there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. Irk, what do I do now?
I think she's sufficiently wriggled.
I really don't think there's anything else I can get out of her. Oh, but this is the last day of the... Oh, right. I don't know. Technically, our job was just to defend our client, so I think we've done that.
Yes, Mr. Wright?
I was hoping I'd come up with a question while pounding on my desk. I didn't.
You have my sympathies.
Damn. To come so far, only to fail. But... you can't declare... No!
I've looked on the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
What?
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't.
Edgeworth, you came through for us. In the name of justice.
I see. Very well.
Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Oh, Edgeworth. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about?
Well, yes, Indeed, verily, I say, ergo... I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Humph.
Nick! Why did Edgeworth?
Who knows? He's on our side now. He probably realized she did it too.
But... wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that...
Edgeworth. After
after finding the body. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it. Pointing at Powers saying, "Mike Wazowski, he did it." I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home.
I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick.
Right. Only Powers was absent, yeah, we know. Immediately called the police, sure. Security lady, because of the photo, I guess? Oldbag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right, the Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. Would Gumshoe really have arrested her just based on that photo, though? Because it's not good enough. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. I mean, it's been established that Gumshoe is kind of a terrible detective, so sure. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned. And I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you. Or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot riding on it, with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. I mean, wasn't there that thing where she was like, "Get my script. Bring me my script." She didn't have her script. The script and your direction notes. Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. I had to bring them to you, though. Remember? Remember? Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder, after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh, yeah, I guess.
Very well. Miss Vasquez, please continue.
She wouldn't have known, right?
Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement.
Huh?
Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have to know about the murder before going to Studio One.
Order, order. Mr. Edgeworth. What you just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense?
Clearly, we are prosecuting the witness at this point, Your Honor. I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. And now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation?
I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason.
He was injured.
You have to find something to... You have to find something to peg this on her here, or everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known he was injured. What do we have for that? We know for a fact that only the three of them knew he was injured. How did you know he was injured? Right? How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, the director. Sal Oldbeck and the security lady. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manila arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Always press harder. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well? Then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. I mean, you saying that you aren't doing it doesn't mean that you're telling the truth. But boy,
The witness will continue her testimony.
Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember? Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm. You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Press harder! Wait a second! Wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and the one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person?
I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez?
Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him out on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing.
Poor Powers. Oh, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue.
I feel like there's something to do with the monkey head, right? Or did we already use that? Block the path between 2:15 and 4. Back to the trailer. Is this... You couldn't have gone back to the trailer? Maybe. I'm scared. I'll try.
No.
Okay. Let's look. Oh. I haven't been memorizing their names very well either, so, yeah, that's... You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammers who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right. He must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manila was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes.
Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured?
Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. To trick the camera. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Oh.
And when was he doing this?
Well, it would have to have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered.
Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning.
Order, order, I will have order.
Witness. Can you refute this claim?
Humph. Yeah, let's see. Sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Irk. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing.
Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive?
Okay. I have proof, and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. It kind of goes back to why he drugged Will Powers, why he stole the costume in the first place. I think maybe he was trying to kill her. Maybe it was self-defense. Like, maybe he was tired of the blackmail, and she was the only one who knew the truth. This is my proof.
This is the photo from before?
This photo reveals the motive in this murder. Ugh. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With Dee Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. Oh, it's a pun.
His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. I love puns too.
However, you, Dee Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change.
Bringing us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate.
Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star.
We work well together, Phoenix, right?
One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, and you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if Mr. Hammer had killed Dee Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder.
Yeah, maybe it was an accident. Or, not an accident, self-defense. She had no motive, Your Honor.
What's that now?
It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense.
What's that now?
It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez.
What? What?
Oh, we broke Edgeworth. Your Honor. Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Oh, he wanted to make, Will Powers, his scapegoat. Whoa! Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. What a twist! Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dee Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. Oh, she's gonna snap her... Oh, yep. She was grasping it too hard. So you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Oh.
Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late.
Who's talking?
Ah, Miss Vasquez.
What?
What happened here?
Manuel fell down the trailer stairs. Oh, this is a flashback. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. Oh, they were lovers. No, how could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. No! Please don't die. Please. Oh. Whoa. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's Steve Vasquez?
In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
it appears you have brought about yet another miracle.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes, you're right. But how you gotta bring down the mood like that, Edgy? Very well. Edgy boy, as Miss Oldbag calls you. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty.
Oh, yay!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez. But to think that he tried to frame me for murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
Cause you're a little bit dumb. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... I don't know. Oh, maybe he was jealous. Yeah, I think that's it. He was jealous. Oh, shit. It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was a Steel Samurai?
Mr. Hammers was a big star. I keep getting hammers and Hammer, singular, powers, plural. Mr. Hammer was a big star once. But he was reduced to acting in a kids' show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai. And so he hated you.
I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time.
I think you're missing the point.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
So am I. So am I.
Congratulations, WP!
Oh, thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more.
Oh no, they're gonna cancel it though.
I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Huh? Is something wrong?
No, of course not.
Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk.
Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth.
You don't waste any time gloating, do you?
No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers.
Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers.
Liar.
Right? I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Meet again?
However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings.
Unnecessary feelings? Do you have a crush on him?
Yes, unease and uncertainty with my sexuality.
Aren't those kind of necessary?
They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you.
Whoa!
Mr. Wright, was that your boyfriend?
What? Boyfriend? As if. They're rivals. Rivals. Right, Nick?
For now, we are, I guess.
Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth?
Whoa. And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kid shows again.
Nick! This is it. The new show starts today. You're going to watch it with me, right?
I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it.
You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant.
Fine, I'll do it.
Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time.
I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. He's too hideous. Oh, that's so cute! Because, yeah, like, with the Steel Samurai, or, no, the, Evil Magistrate actor dead, they couldn't really... Oh! What is this?
My angst.
I'm going to grab his head with my giant hand.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it there, though. Just because, you know, that's a very good stopping point, and I'm kind of tired. So, how do I... No, don't show me! No, these are spoilers! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Hang on, I'm just gonna force the game to quit, don't worry. We'll continue this next time.